Okay, welcome everyone. So let's give everyone a chance to sign on here. We'll go over the disclaimer a little bit. Past performance is no indicator of future performance. We're not registered investment advisors. Anything in this is for entertainment purposes only. Always consult a professional. Always read the disclaimer. There's a disclaimer right in the description for this show. You guys get in there and read it. You should get into that habit anyways. It's good to read the fine print. So we'll give everybody a couple minutes here to sign on. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Of course, it's Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th today. Witching Day. And option is expiration. Only weekly, so. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. It was a good market day today. The S&P hit a 4-month high. It hasn't been this high since February. It's a nice little recovery in the market. Hasn't hit those all-time highs yet, but looks like it might get the move. Banks were the showcase today, and what happened was JP Morgan released first and they hit. And what happened after that was Citi came out and they missed, and Wells Fargo missed even worse. Wells Fargo, of course, is Warren Buffett's one of his favorite banks, along with Bank of America. Bank of America will report on Monday morning before the bell. Thanks, Roland. So banks kicked off earnings today, and it was an interesting day, right? It was kind of a fluxy day up and down. We ended up closing a little bit green. The S&P at the 4-month high. Dow closed pretty good. The banks kind of were the uplift and the drag on it. Social media stocks kind of take a little bit of a hit. Twitter was down at one point about buck and a half. Our snap play, we ended up closing some of those $13 calls and carrying some over. We exercised, a little bit of the contracts to get those 100 shares at $13. So that play continues on. We've been talking about Netflix lately, and there's a lot of talk about Netflix today. First of all, they had one reporter that came out with one analyst came out with a big call against them. And it's funny too, because yesterday we were talking about this, right, in the show. And what we were saying was, even for ourselves, always remember something. The old saying before we had the internet and instant trading and discount brokerages and stuff like that was, the old saying was, buy what you know. Like if you understood and you supported like Tide, the brand, then you bought that. Things like that, Clorox, whatever, the car you drove, the car that you saw everybody driving. If everybody's driving a Ford, you assume maybe Ford's doing good, buy the stock, right? That was back to the day before all this instant communication. Now you have, you can Google things. Every brokerage has intense amounts of research, and it's kind of an interesting time as compared to now. But we were talking about it yesterday, how we canceled our Netflix subscription after how many years? We were grandfathered in. We were paying like $8.99 a month, and we canceled it because there's just nothing on it. Nobody likes it. Nobody in the office watches it. Everybody's just watching Hulu. So how much is that going to affect earnings? And Netflix earnings come up in about 8 or 9 days. So you guys keep an eye on that if you're playing those FANG stocks. Going into next week, it should be an interesting week. We'll kick off Monday morning with Bank of America's earnings, and then we'll continue in with some big earnings going along the list. When we do the show on Monday, we'll kind of be a little more specific about that. But you want to keep an eye on that Bank of America earnings, because it might be the barometer right now, especially with JP Morgan hitting and Citi and Wells Fargo missing. Bank of America might be the separator there. Let's see how it goes with them. The big thing for JP Morgan was their trading desk. Their trading desks, the revenue improved greatly. And that, for the last few bank reports, if you guys have been paying attention, has been the problem. They have the good earnings, the loans pick up, things like that. The margins are okay, but they just can't get those trading desks going. And like with JP Morgan, that's a big thing. And the earnings report actually came through this time with some good trading desk stuff. Let's see if that carries over to Bank of America. Bank of America has been making a lot of deals too, so they should be pretty interesting. Then we'll start rolling into some other earnings reports. Now, today was a really fluxy day. First of all, it was a Friday, weekly options expirations. It wasn't a big witching day. It wasn't monthly expirations. That'll be next Friday. So next week you want to be very cautious going into it. We're positioned right now. We're still long on banks. We still don't like streaming media with the we're short Pandora and stuff like that. We're continuing with that trade. They got a couple financials in there and stuff. What are you playing? What are you playing? How are you positioning for the rest of earnings season? This is only one day of a good 2-3 week period. There's another thing too. If you were in Wells Fargo, if you were in Citi and you took a little hit today, don't let that discourage you. It's only one day of trading and it's one earnings report. Investing is always a long series of good strategy. That's what investing is. So let's go down and see what people are saying, and one more time, just for you guys, don't forget to read the disclaimer. Okay. We had a comment on the page recently about that. And the disclaimer is very clear. Go read that first, then say something. Anyways, let's go down and see what questions people are doing. Yeah. That's a good one, Samuel. The Brexit play, right? Because the Brexit's actually back in the news right now with Trump meeting with Theresa May. And wasn't that meeting right out of the art of the deal? I mean, he came in, he blew it up. He went, did that interview, and he basically said he liked I forget the guy's name, but there's someone else's to take Theresa May's job, and he just beat the crap out of her. And then he said that because she's screwing up the Brexit, he's not going to make a trade deal with them, and just beat her up. When they left today, they were kissing cheeks, and Trump was taking pictures with the Queen. So that's an interesting thing, right? That development. But, it's a good question, Samuel. There might be something in that because Trump is expecting, and a lot of people, a lot of the smart money is expecting Trump to make a solo deal with Britain and then use that as a leverage against the EU. Everybody knows how he feels about the EU, and he's right. Germany for decades has had a trade surplus. Almost everybody in that region's had a good trade surplus. Are they living off the U.S.'s production, right? So it has to be brought into line. Everybody likes to focus on that China trade, but it really, if you look at it, the room for opportunity is in Europe, and Trump knows that. So I think what he's doing is he's trying to get Britain positioned to get a good deal from them, and then he can use that against the EU to get a good deal from them. There probably will be a play in there, but it's a little too early to get too far into that, though. But that is a great question, Samuel. See, Samuel is a very, very intuitive investor. He's a very smart guy. He knows what to look for and stuff now. And that's the difference between if you ask Samuel about him from a year ago, 2-3 years ago, right, Samuel? And now is that, you just have this ability to interpret things a little bit better. And that is a fantastic question. But if you want to be in tune like Samuel and stuff, you know where the link is. But let's see if there were any other questions. Yeah, I mean, I really, really like that. Thank you, Samuel. That is a fantastic, one of the best questions that we've ever had. Because there is something in there, and it's developing right now, right? And you got a lot of things working, Samuel. What's working is you've got a yield curve which might go inverse, which really shocks the hell out of most traders. But it hasn't hit the market yet. That might affect things. But of course, those interest rates affect trade and everything else. So let's see how Trump pulls out of this. It looks like he went into the meeting with NATO, and everybody thought it was blowing up, and then he came out of that pretty good. And then he went into the meeting with Theresa May, and art of the deal, man, he blew it up like Trump does so well. And of course, the U.S. media helped him, right? Because they started anti-Trump stuff, and that just feeds the fire. And then all of a sudden, on the day he's leaving, they're shaking hands, kissing cheeks, and taking pictures with the Queen. So let's give Trump a chance, okay? You know what I mean? Love him or hate him. Let's see if these policies work. What we've been doing the last 20, 30 years has not worked. So it's time to try something different. Let's give the guy an honest chance. That's what we say as investors. Give the guy an honest chance, okay? We don't want to blow up 4 years of presidential administration just because of our feelings, okay? Just because emotionally we don't like Donald Trump. Excuse me. And then, yeah, we just talked about the Netflix play. Samuel, you're just good questions today. You know, lots of people are canceling Netflix, man. I know a lot of people, and yeah, of course, Samuel, we own the company. We're very good friends. We talk about this a lot, you know, and it's the politicizing of the company that probably is turning a lot of people off. You know, you've got a very loud group with the anti-Trumpers, but you've got this Trump support group, or the middle, the fence straddlers, right? They're not really Trump, but they're not anti-Trump. They're really, you know, like us. We're not Trump, but we're not anti-Trump. We just want to give him an opportunity. It's new ideas. It's new ways to do things. Give him an opportunity if it works. What if it does work? You know what I mean? So, and the same thing with you know, and with the Netflix, we look at it the same way, right? If you look on it, if you look at the comedy shows on it, it's very heavy progressive, very, very heavy anti-Trump, very heavy left-leaning celebrities. And nobody's you know, absolutely, you know, First Amendment and all that, you know, everybody should have a spot. But where's the other side? You know, one thing Samuel and I talk about all the time is, you know, it's not so much what's being said, it's what's not being said. It's, are we getting 2 points of views? We always tell you guys that, right? Don't just take, if you see an article on CNN, don't just take it for God's word. Go find it, Google it, and see who else is writing about it. See if it jives. Same thing with Fox, same thing with MSNBC, whatever you watch, Vox, whatever. Please don't tell us you watch Vox or read Vox. Oh my God, that's a mess over there. You know, and that's a good question. So, you know, is this going to hurt it? You know, we're actually looking at Netflix right now as a team because, like we said, this week was a little early to get into it. And, you know, you don't want to go short when it's getting crushed like that on just short-term news. Yeah, you've got news that catches and will kill a stock for months. Then you've got news that doesn't catch, but it's effective in the sense that it'll give you a bad red day, right? But then right after, the stock recovers. Netflix might be one of those. So we want to time this entry well. But just, you know, for public consumption and for those looking for ideas, we're looking for a Netflix short right now. We think that earnings report's going to be pretty bad. We just don't see how it can hang. You know, the thing is, you don't want, and this is a good response to what you're saying about politicizing the company, Samuel. The thing you don't want is your service to become an echo chamber. That's, I mean, you've cut yourself off from what, 55% of the voters, right? Because they went whatever. So you create an echo chamber, man, you're at a loss right there. And we think yeah, that's the difference between day trading and swing trading. We're not in there. We're not going to go in there and try to get half a tick off Netflix during the day. Jeez, who wants to do that? We're swing traders, you know, we're investors. Really, we're swing traders / investors. You know, we're always building, you know, we've talked about it many times about the 3-year plan, the 3-year model. For building, doubling portfolios and stuff. And Samuel, you know, you and Laura handle the marketing department. I actually should probably pop you on for this. But look, you guys know over in the office, man, what you're competing with. And we talk about it within the group. These emails that come out from these companies, 100%, 100%, 100%, double your money in a week, all this stuff, It's just not realistic. It's not realistic. If somebody comes to you and tells you, I'll take your $50,000 and they'll make you a millionaire in a year, I will take that bet that they're not going to be able to do it. You know what I mean? Because think about even way back in the beginning, Samuel, when we took you to that level, we started from 250. I mean, it's really, that was only a quadruple. It wasn't, which, yeah, we'll pat ourselves on the back on that one. But, it's this unrealistic expectations. We were looking at one of the trade team was showing me in an email today. These guys with their marketing, it's like, oh my God, we'll show you how to make $1,500 today. Really? So I told Jen, click the link, and she clicked the link, and it was just a heavy sales pitch. You know how that is, Samuel. Samuel's a marketing networking. Him and Lauren, they do a fantastic job. They can tell you all about this crazy stuff they see. And then, yes, Roland, we got to say that because we got to have a little Friday the 13th fun. Man, I had a Jason mask I was going to put on at the end of the show, but let's don't make it a clown show. Let's see if we got any other questions. Aloha, Rani. So, yeah, going into next week, let's be cautious, but let's always be aggressive. We like to be aggressive, but some of the ideas we're looking at, of course, it's too late for you to do the Bank of America because I'll get right to that, Kenny. But it's too late for you to for anybody to get into the Bank of America. I mean, if you're a day trader, you can play it based on the earnings report. But we're not day traders, like Samuel said. We're swing traders / investors. We swing. I got to say that cautiously. But, we play even our options, for those of you that aren't members that want to know, we play our options 2-3 months out the line. A lot of times we'll ride these things, that string all the way to the last day. Snap. We rode that to the last 2 hours. Kenny and Samuel and Savaro tell you all that, we rode those up to the last 2 hours looking to see if we'd get that pop to 14, and we never got it. But we converted it and took the shares at $13, so we're okay. And we also have another set of snap options about a month and a half out. So, we're pretty crafty at what we do. But that's important to remember, is what Samuel said. We're not day traders. We are swing traders / investors. We build. Look at that snap trade. That snap trade started out as a quick options play, right? We were about a couple weeks out when we bought them. But they ended up being a long-term play because we like snap. It IPO'd at 17. It's trading in the 13s. It's probably going to move back to that 17 at some point. Maybe the earnings report. It's still recovering from the last earnings report where it missed, right? Remember, we were long on it at that point. We lost some money on it. But we like Snap going forward. We like it to be a $20, $25, $30 stock. So if we can get some shares at $13, maybe we don't make money on them today, but we'll make money on them in the long run. And that's what Samuel's talking about. Don't ever get into that time, that conundrum in your head where you have to, you know what I mean? It's all about right now. Sometimes what you do is you build false wealth. And a lot of day traders will tell you this is, especially when you do your taxes and stuff. Also, too, remember, there's a day trading rule. Oh, excuse me. There's a day trading rule. And what that is if you hit these certain specifications on in and out trades on the same stocks and stuff, your margin requirements and stuff all get raised, and they get raised to this outrageous amount. And usually if you don't have like $150,000 portfolio, you're out of the game. Why go through that? Why not just do it stress-free? Why not just relax? Why not enjoy it? Look, it's Friday night on the 13th, man. Once we're done with the show, you ask Samuel, man, it's weekend time. And we tell our members that too. Let's get to Kenny. Kenny's got to go all about being smart, and day trading is not. It is. Oh, Kenny, Kenny's a member. Just to put some context to this comment, but Kenny's a member for all you guys watching, and he knows, man. He's been around a little bit. He's probably experienced day trading. I know Roland has experienced day trading. It's just almost always a losing proposition. I know a couple guys that make money at it, but I know for every one I know making money, I know maybe 15, 20 guys that got broke. The market broke them, Samuel Kekoa is one of them, right? That's why Kekoa doesn't invest. In fact, he got burned so bad. Here's a lesson for you guys, and this is exactly what Kenny's saying. This guy tried day trading. He just got burned, and now he doesn't even invest. Man, that sucks. Better to relax, be smart, relax, and enjoy the ride and get the wins along the way. Absolutely, Kenny. We talked about it, man. April, we had that hard April. One thing about our service is we're not like other services. You see all these marketing emails and all they talk about is win, 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 win. Nobody wins all the time. And we're very open about what we trade and whether we're successful at it. And we had a rough April, man. I think we had 5 losses in a row. Kenny was with us at the time. But it didn't break us. It didn't break anything. It was just a rough spell, man. We got caught in that. Remember we had those big sell downs, $700, 700 points down a day and stuff. It was just madness. And thank you, Samuel, because you're right, man. Kenny is right on the money with that. But you're just not going to win all the time. And day trading is even more difficult. It's very difficult. I've tried it. In fact, and Samuel will tell you with our managed accounts, sometimes with the clients are looking to get a little cash or something. And so they'll give us the go ahead and they'll say, hey, can you have the team maybe do some shorter term trades and try to build up a little, they need, they want to take out some cash or something like that, but they don't want to hurt the portfolio. And I go in and I'll do that with the team, man, and it'll just freak the team out. They're so used to trading smart, stress-free, like Kenny said. And then all of a sudden we're trying to get a half tick. It's like, oh, and it's not good for the heart. It's not good for the hairline, and it's not good for the pocketbook, But, if it's okay with you guys, I just want to talk about Netflix one more time because this question really hit right time. The Netflix, and really it is, and it's funny too, and I'm sure all of you experience this. When you bring up this point, if people are leaning left, they get really mad. You know what I mean? So it's hard to have a intelligent discussion about the political leanings of the service Netflix. But Netflix is one of the best performing. I think it's the best performing FANG stock so far. But there's a media stock that actually has done better than Netflix this year, and you guys will never guess what it is. I give you guys 2 minutes. I give you guys 1 minute to guess if you guys want to. Okay, before we close the show, there's one stock in media that beat Netflix so far this year. And it'll blow your mind, but it'll make sense too when I tell you. Guess what it is? WWE, World Wrestling Enterprises. That's Vince McMahon, Linda McMahon. What's the girl's name? The daughter. They're a whole family. Many years ago, Vince McMahon bought the WWF, and it was Bruno Sammartino, and when they just wore the Speedo trunks and they were bronze bodies, he bought it, and it was a dying brand. It was dying, literally dying, professional wrestling, but it was associated with Madison Square Garden, and Vince McMahon saw some potential in it, so he bought it. And now look at it. Monday Night Raw. They just signed a big contract with Fox. It's just really, really good stuff going, man. WWE. You know, we've been looking at it, man, because we've been trying to catch it where it was right, where the underlying price was right for the premiums on the options. But the market makers are kind of seeing it right now, the contract sellers. So the premiums are a little expensive. But if you guys are looking for another idea, tradable idea, WWE is one of them. It's actually doing better than Netflix. So look, gang. As Samuel says, have a great weekend, everyone. It was a great week. You know, we had a lot of fun. If you're not having fun trading, you're doing it wrong. You should be having fun. You know, you guys know where the link is. We're not going to push that too hard because it's up to you. It's like yesterday's saying, right? Only you can change your future. Okay? The link's right there. All right. So look, gang, you guys have a great Friday the 13th evening, especially you, Roland. You stay out of trouble. We'll talk to you guys Monday after the market. And it's been a great week. Like we said, let's just recap real quick. You know, we're still in a little bit of a snap long. We took some shares at $13. We're still short on the dollar. We're still short Pandora. We still like financials, man. They've been beat down. The banks have just been beat down for 2 weeks, man, but we still like them. Are we gluttons for punishment, or are we smarter than everybody else? Let's find out. All right. And then, what else are we into? You know, that's pretty much the gist of what we're into right now. And we like the market going forward. We think Bank of America on Monday morning will have a nice little earnings report, and we should do. That might kick earnings into real high gear. Remember, the S&P made its 4-month high today. It's right off that all-time high. There's reasons to own stocks right now. Okay, the bear markets are markets where there's just no reason to own stocks. Okay, so all right, we'll talk soon. You guys have a great weekend. Go out and have some fun and make a difference. That's for you, Samuel. We'll see you guys Monday.